So back on it, another day. Oh, I've got to do as much as I possibly can. The brakes have seriously had it, so you know about them. I've already got the brakes. This tyre has got to come off because it's just too big. Another tyre, swinging arm off, jack shaft in, new sprocket, motor now ready to go. Got to tidy up the wire loom, swinging arm off, and that's the jack shaft out. Jack shaft ready for the warp 9. That's the new warp 9 on there. Nice. While I was at it, I thought this needed a bit of a spit as well, so I've done that while I'm at it. Swing arm back in, jack shaft back in. They look sick. Look at that. Just a few issues. If you've got these RFLOXA forks and you're trying to fit the Ultra B brakes and the JXR big rotors, this is the 230 on the front. You see down there, you've got these bolts which clamp this onto the actual rotor part itself. They will actually hit the brake carrier itself, so you might want to file them down, which is what I'm going to do. So as you can see there, that's really close to those bolts, and as you can see, it's starting to clip the brake carrier. That's these here, slightly too raised than the factory ones. Yeah, just bear that in mind. I'm going to have to file them off. Yeah, so there you can see there, look. This is the Ultra B bracket for the front, and obviously when that's on there like that, those raised bolts are going to hit that, and also hitting this slightly, so you can see how close that is. So I've just got to file a bit off of that. So there's the brake carrier. That's how much I've had to take off. It's minimal really, but it makes a lot of difference. So now I'm just going to spit that and then, yeah, put it on. Wouldn't even know, bro. Look at that. Nice. So we're getting there now. Front brake, disc, rotor, everything. Front wheel on there now. Forks, headset, wiring. All I've got to do is chuck the motor in once the wheel's done. Get the chain on there and the jack shaft. Chuck the back wheel in, and then we've got some programming to do. That tyre is way too big for that bike, and now I've got to put another one on. This is a Michelin tracker, 100 by 100 by 18. Alright, that's the back wheel on with the brakes. They didn't have any issues whatsoever. The rear cog is back on. Now it's got the new tyre on it. We'll need to take a little bit off of this tyre, a corner off of these knobblies, so the chain don't rub. That's looking quite nice. So now we've got the VTB Beast in there. All we've got to do now is replace the gear for the new motor chain system. So what I've had to do to get behind the sprocket on this motor, the VTB Beast, I've had to get a jimmy behind it, a flat jimmy, right behind the motor there, so I can prise it open, and then get some pulleys so that I can get behind the actual pulley itself. And now I'm gonna try to pull the pulley off. That's the old pulley off. Now I'm going to get the warp 9 chain sprocket. Right, so the woodruff key I've had to file down so that that fits for the warp 9. So just bear that in mind, guys, when you're doing this. You might have to trim down the woodruff key so that that fits for this warp 9 on the VTB Beast. you go, sprockets on there, but make sure when you do it up, it's anti-clockwise, so you're going this way. Going to get the chain on now. So when doing the walk 9 chain, if you get under the motor, so it lifts the motor up, and then get your link in nice and easy. So your links are up there. Get your split link, put that in, nice and lined up. Put that through. Get your little rubber grommets on top, like that. Get your link, put that over the top of them, like that. It should act like a little bit of a spring. Get your chain link, okay, and you're going to want to face it this way when you're putting it up, when you're putting it back on, so it goes on. That top link should be facing that way, and that is how you fit that. And that's the sprocket guard on there. It doesn't need any spacers because that fits beautifully, so that's on there now. So what I've done with the tyre is just marked up where I need to cut it. What I'll do is I'll mark all of them up and then we'll go for the cut. Alright, there we go. Every knobbly piece marked, ready for the cut. And yes, everyone was cut by hand. It wasn't too bad, to be honest, so yeah, it's pretty easy. So there we go, that is the tyre done. That is now complete. Gave us lots more room now for the chain, so that's good. No rubbing on that. Another change of plan, we are going with the Ventus controller. Now we're using the Light B wiring harness, the original one, instead of the Ventus one. So we've gone with the Ventus controller, and this is what you get inside that box, so you know what you're buying. So you get your controller, silicone plug covers, your main screen display. This is just QR codes, not a manual. The main wiring loom and things that we're going to use to get this bike working. This little unit is your regen, and then you've got your display bracket, which is for your bars, and then your buttons, and then some rubbers to hold your display on. Chuck that in there like there's no tomorrow. So this bike in the making has been an absolute nightmare getting parts for this thing. Now we've got the Ventus controller. Now we've got the Ventus Beast Motor in this. I'm going to show you how the wiring goes. The throttle is knackered, so that'll be here today. I'm going to show you what plugs in where. All your wiring loom. So this is waterproof wire loom. I'm using this. That's all wired in. Your main dashboard wire, that obviously plugs into your dashboard, plugs in there in this part of the loom. You got your buttons, so that will go to obviously your buttons. You can't get it wrong. So let me show you down here where the wiring loom goes into your Light B wiring. So where it says Light B, this is going to be your throttle side. That's going to go into your throttle side of it. So the throttle wires you'll be using is the black, white, the green, white, and the red, white, and they are going to plug in there like that accordingly. So the black will go into the black and white, the purple will go into the green and white, and your blue will go into your red and white, and that goes into your main wiring loom. And then your throttle side of it, you're going to plug your throttle, your throttle, there's the throttle, you're going to plug that in, and that's going to plug into this bottom one here. Doesn't matter whether you've got a Surron one or VTB one, and plug that into the bottom there. You can only go into one plug. So you've got your blue, your brown, your black, and that will go into your black, red and green, and that is your throttle side of it. The others are pretty straightforward. They just literally plug in there. That's your regen button on there, and then that's pretty much it. What we're going to have to do also, there's not a bracket for this to be bolted to the top, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some spacers, long spacers, a bolt, and bolt that into the top of the brace on top of here. Put the brace up the top there on the back plate. where the power wires are, so that's going to be bolted into the top there like that. Now I've explained that, I'm just going to crack on, get it done. I'll show you a little trick with that. Isopropyl alcohol, throttle, spray a bit of that down it, literally slide that on. As easy as that. You won't ever have a problem with your grip. Let that dry. Done. Easy as that. If you've enjoyed this, guys, please leave a like. Please support my channel. It really helps out if you want to see this bike some more.